It finally happened. Urban Meyer is unemployed. Deion Sanders made some splashes this week. Steph Curry now is the all-time leading three-point shooter. We got NFL picks and more. This is the We Don't Know Sports Podcast. Stay tuned. Welcome back once again to the We Don't Know Sports Podcast. This is Chad the Mark with
Mr. Brown
and
Canadian Biggie.
And we had an over-under on something not too long ago, and you got to correct me if I'm wrong, Biggie. Was the over-under we had Halloween or was it Thanksgiving? I can't remember.
I thought it was Thanksgiving.
All right.
Or it could have been Halloween.
And we should have took the over.
Yep.
And we were all thinking it was the under, but it's between Thanksgiving and Christmas that Urban Meyer did not quit the NFL. He got fired.
Why was I thinking we did like 2 years of the 5-year deal?
Nah.
Maybe we originally
maybe
did
like in
that,
the summertime.
but when stuff hit where he was in the club with the girl, that's when we
changed.
redid.
Yeah, you're right. If you go back
initially,
you go back to initially without any bad reporting, we were already saying
2 years or less.
2 years tops. And then like once the season started, we're like, he's not going to survive the season. And then when Urban Cowboy became the meme, that's when we had the over-under conversation and we pushed it up. But we thought, he was going to, Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you. He's going to have another health episode. And that's Sanford and Son for you millennials out there that don't understand that. But either way, I can't believe he got fired before he quit, but he deserved it.
Was he getting fired anyway, but maybe Shad Khan was going to wait until the end of the year? Or
why wait, though?
Was it the Lambeau thing that's like, all right, we got to get rid of this guy?
Why wait? Because you have I still believe that Trevor Lawrence is probably a generational talent.
Yeah, you need to get somebody else in there before he's
like he's regressed
yes.
as the season's gone on. Like you saw little flashes early, and then it's just gotten worse because he's working in that dumpster fire filled with kerosene.
I mean, I feel like he's got the talent if he had it around him, but his skill set is enough to where he could be a quarterback that could, propel his team into the playoffs year after year.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a guy that you could stick with for the next decade.
Hell, who's got James Robinson on their fantasy team this weekend? Because that MFer is going to run for 200 yards probably.
Yeah.
After they just decided not to play him. We talked about that last week. Trevor Lawrence was the one that straightened all that out. Like he was the one that kind of put that to – you should know there's a problem when your rookie quarterback is the one out there having to navigate all this stuff. And you brought up the Josh Lambeau thing. Is that why he got fired? And there's the thing. There's not one specific thing that got him fired.
Just the final nail in the coffin.
It's a comedy of errors. It's just all – and then like the whole thing, was it Marvin Jones?
Yep.
With
Marvin Jones, who's one of the most well-respected veterans, not only on their team, but in the league, left the facility and had to be talked into coming back to the facility after practice or during practice one day because he got into it with Meyer.
Because why do you want to play for a guy when nothing's being built? And if you're a player and you're in that environment, you already see the writing on the wall. You know how it's going to end. And this guy's possibly letting you stay on the field for whatever stupid reasons and stupid game plan. I'd be worried about my career.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can name, and you put it up. I think you put it up. Or no, one of y'all put it up about him and
Gruden.
No, the Jets guy.
I got it. I put it up, but I got it from Biggie. It was
Adam Gase.
When this guy's a better coach than you.
I mean, but like, put it in perspective. You're 100% right because name a team in recent memory that's had a worse culture from the outside looking in. It don't look like anything was done right. Everyone seemed like they were miserable. Like there was nothing going right in this whole situation.
Well, then just a few days before this, there was him calling his coaches out who he just hired. Oh, yeah. Prove your resumes. I'm a winner. You guys are losers.
How the hell Mr. Brown, what have you ever won? Not a damn thing. I've won a national championship.
Exactly.
That's how it was. Like, can you imagine? And you know what? I was talking to Mr. Brown about this before we went live. Was the amount of conversation on our page and our football.
Is that like basketball?
Yes.
Okay.
The amount of people who just completely were like, what's wrong with this? The kicker shouldn't be upset. This is football. Don't be a bitch. And big top fan, Tyrone Curl. I responded back to him. I was like, yeah, these are the same people that I'm going to shoot my boss if he tells me I got to stay over tomorrow. Yeah, but you kick another guy because he's a kicker, I guess. I think you might have said Ray Guy proved that kickers don't have souls anyway or something. I don't know.
Something to that effect.
So, I mean, like, on the back part, he kicks him when he's down stretching. He says, whatever he said, hey, dipshit.
You better not, dipshit, don't miss any more kicks.
Yeah, and then he said something about, don't effing kick me again. Lambeau said it back to him. And then Urban Meyer says, I'll do whatever the F I want. I'm the effing coach.
Yep.
So it's like.
Called himself the head ball coach. Steve Spurrier used to always say, I'm the head ball coach.
And Steve Spurrier was a better NFL coach than Urban Meyer.
That's saying something.
I felt like 75% of the responses on our page was taken up for Urban, which was it did shock me a little bit.
It's nuts.
And I got that it's football and it's in your face and that like it's all good until it happens to you.
We're not talking about
it's not fun anymore.
We're not talking about heart or hustle. It's just somebody's ability. He's struggling. That's not motivational at all. You're not correcting the problem. All you're doing is making him hate you and other people hate you because kickers are such a head case anyway. Let's just go ahead and make it even better, right? And then Gus Frerotte came out on our group and he was talking about it too. And he was just like, look, these are grown men. If you think any grown man's going to talk to another grown man that way and not expect a receipt, then you're sadly mistaken. And I think that's the point is
these guys are all millionaires. It's a much different beast when you get to the
I don't
NFL.
care if you're a millionaire or not. If you're just an adult, don't talk to somebody like a dog.
But what I'm saying is at the college level, guys will take that because they need him to get they need to be highlighted so they can go become millionaires. Once you get to the NFL, these guys don't look at you like you're anything special.
That's going to change as time goes on with this whole transfer nonsense.
Well, did anybody respond when Gus Frerotte got involved in your group? Did they go back and forth with it?
No, nobody. I didn't. Well, they might have after the fact, but the last time I looked, a couple of people had given them like thumbs up, like, yeah, we agree. So it's like the people that were on the side that we're kind of on, they were like, we agree with you. But the people who wanted to go be keyboard warriors, they were going all out about it's football. It's a man's game.
You need to get Gus on the page to say that. See what happens.
I know.
So we all love like the behind the scenes stuff, whether it's football, wrestling, anything else. The 30 for 30s are great. And I saw this today, and this is something we've talked about before with all this coming out and how out of control it was. What we need is a 30 for 30. 2008 Gators. You had Urban Meyer was your head coach.
That's more like a
Tim Tebow,
CSI.
Cam Newton, Aaron Hernandez, Percy Harvin, who was a nut job, Riley Cooper, Joe Hayden, Janoris Jenkins, and both the Pouncey boys. That would be an interesting start for maybe how he ended up where he is here. The greatest thing he did as a Jags head coach was feed balls to Chris Jericho in that match.
Giving the assist to Charlie Strong.
Yep.
So as far as the ramifications for the rest of the year, the Jaguars are not relevant anyway. So they get the benefit of having another fantastic draft pick. So hopefully they'll have someone who won't foul it up like Urban was probably going to do. But we put it on the poll, how long before Urban Meyer coaches again? And I put in parentheses at any level. So what do you think? One, next year, 2 years, 3 to 5 years, or never again?
I'd say never one, between never and 1 year, or next year.
I'd say never probably is the first, and then 2 years for the second.
Never again won by a landslide, and then next year was next. So, I mean, he's rather going to get a job next year, or they think he's just going to walk away forever.
See, my opinion is he sits out next year, and then he comes back to follow.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, you got to let time for this to subside. A lot of the big coaching hires have already happened, so you just wait for the
Why couldn't this happen sooner? Meyer to USC. That was my thing. He'd fit perfect. They're all fake out there anyway.
There you go. But with his resume in college, you can't tell me there's not going to be a college school that's not going to be like, hey. Yeah.
Wait, back to Biggie's point. You've seen Urban in Columbus nightlife. Put him on the Sunset Strip, baby. Yeah. Put him out there with all the porn market.
See, I think happens with Urban is that he's too good of a coach for someone not to at least try and throw 8 or 10 million at him at the college level at a high level spot. And it's like Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino was a great coach, had like 2 scandals at Louisville. He went coached in Greece. Iona hired him back. What'd he do? Take him to the tournament. Like at the college level, Urban is a great recruiter and can coach the hell out of it. He's worth the distraction once you let it settle for a little while. or some AD will think.
Hey, somebody pointed out on the page that, or it might have been the group, that Rick Pitino got a second chance. So anything's possible.
He'll get his chance. There's no doubt.
He'll get a chance before Art Browse does.
Oh, yeah.
We've already seen that.
He'll be coaching before Gruden does.
Yeah, exactly. More topical. Thank you. All right, last little bit on football. We know we got our NFL Stone Cold Lead Pipe Locks of the Week coming up, which, just to highlight again, you're third in the nation, I think.
What was it, man? Big East fifth?
Big East fifth, and I'm like,
how is that
17?
even possible? Now, my question for next year, and this is where you come in, Mr. Salesman, you got to sell it to get us on that page.
I think,
how do we become accredited?
I think I can do that because I've been experimenting around with it a little bit. So we
put ourselves out there every week, all season long, and I don't even care if I suck next year. Damn it, I want on the page with those guys.
I mean, you know what? Here's the thing: we have a historical, Facebook posting system that shows edits. If edits were made, you can go back and see the entire year. So we stand by it. It's there for everyone to see. And then the podcast, the podcast when it drops, it's always on a Thursday or Friday. So we have that evidence as well. But we had National Signing Day, and I don't want to get into the details about all that stuff because nobody cares. Nobody cares if we want to talk about WVU. Nobody cares about USC or that Texas A&M, I think, had the number one class. But the number one recruit signed where, Biggie?
Jackson State with Dion. Mr. Brown was all over that one.
Did you all see how he did it? Did you watch the video? Did you see it?
I have not.
So it was cool. Number one overall prospect. I believe he's running back, right?
Corner.
I thought he was no, but I thought
he's a corner.
Well, he can play.
Corner.
He's going to play both.
Okay.
Anyway, so then he does this conference, right? And it was widely regarded he was going to go to FSU. Well, so he puts on a Georgia hat. He's like, yeah, it's a nice fit, but it ain't for me. Slings it across the room. And then he puts on a FSU hat, and they're like cheering, and he's like, yeah, this is a little bit better fit, but not for me. And everybody's like, oh, going nuts. And he puts on the Jackson State hat. Everybody's going nuts. The room's rocking. And then he takes his jacket off, and he has the Jackson State shirt on. It was like a wrestling event. It was that cool.
All right, so I just want to say one thing, and then you guys can comment however you want. He's a dumbass, and his parents are dumbasses for letting this happen.
I think you're dead wrong. 5 years ago, you'd been right. You know why you're wrong? There's two reasons that Dion can flip him. It has nothing to do with Dion being a Hall of Fame cornerback. He can go to Jackson State, where he already is rumored to have a close to $1 million NIL deal in place. And with the transfer portal, if he goes to Jackson State for 1 year and he's like, yeah, F this, next year he can go play at Alabama or Clemson or anywhere else, and he doesn't lose a damn thing.
Do you really
Years ago, you were right.
No, I'm still right because here's the thing.
When Dion's there, you get the pub.
Look, Tiger Woods was a great golfer, right? And NIL or whatever, dude needed Nike, not FUBU, and that's what made him a household name. If you go play at a Notre Dame or an Alabama or a USC or a Florida or a Florida State, man, your stock goes up. When you go to Jackson State, that's not helping you. It's good buzz right now, but you're not on anybody's monitors. You're not on anybody's TVs. The only people that really care about you are scouts, but you're not going to have that hype machine behind you to try to get drafted. I mean, you're right. If he transfers and then all you did was prove me right that he's a dumbass because he made a pit stop along the way he shouldn't have.
No, I mean, but look at it this way. What you're saying, I kind of agree with right now at this very moment. However, what if he's a trailblazer? What if he's a trendsetter? What if he's a pioneer for the new way college football could be with this incentive-laden program? So what's to say that Jackson State couldn't eventually be a Power 5 school? So maybe he's setting the tone for many more to follow. And if that's the new landscape of college football, then they'll always remember this kid's name.
You're right.
The history of all sports.
You're right if that happens. But here's the thing. I think it's about a 0.00081% chance that happens.
Watch and see.
And right. If it does, I'm not going to, I'll sit here and tell you I was wrong, and that's fantastic because I would love for anything to disrupt the landscape of college football because it effing sucks right now. But as far as the $1 million NIL deal, before we even figured out the waters of NIL, a quarterback that's never even played a game for Alabama was raking in that type of deal too. So, I mean, you can't sit here and think that Jackson State's going to offer you better leverage for an NIL deal than someone else.
But quarterback at Alabama is like shortstop for the Yankees type thing right now. Well, any kid that steps in for quarterback at Alabama is going to get $1 million.
It's also almost like a left fielder for the Yankees too, where you may not even know who it is, but they're just on a good team, so they always contribute and they're still getting money. But if you went to a Power 5 school, though, I'm telling you, if he went to USC, he'd make 5 times the NIL money if it's pushed the right way.
What I heard on the radio when they were talking about it yesterday afternoon was that running back and corner is what he plays, but Deion sold him on playing corner, being an NFL corner, and coming and learning from me. And that's how, one of the ways that he was able to get him to flip. I think that we're missing the point on where he plays in the field as to why Deion would be able to flip him. Because if he's a left tackle or a middle linebacker, I don't think this happens.
Right.
The fact
you
plays
need to be
corner,
a skill player.
Yeah.
Write down this show number somewhere and play this clip in 2 years.
We need to. We need to make a note. We'll get the staff on that, because this is a 5-minute conversation worth hearing again in the future.
No, it is.
And I'll sit here and tell you.
A lot can change in 2 years.
I'll sit here and tell you, I'm okay if I'm wrong. I'm just telling you, a lot of times we're like, well, if this happens, that happens. I'm telling you, I don't think it's going to go well for him. He might
I'm curious to hear what we had to say in 2 years from now because of what we're saying right now. It'll be interesting.
Well, and then just to go back and look at how the landscape might have changed, right?
Well, as far as the trailblazing part of it, what I think, or I would like for us to see happen here in 2 years, Cincinnati made it into the playoff this year, right? We've talked about a group of 5 team becoming like the Gonzaga of college football. Cincinnati or one of those teams starts flipping the top recruits in the country. They can do that.
Wait, that's
ignore this okay?
But we all said that the Bearcats are going to get destroyed by Alabama, so this will be the last time a group of 5
I'm just saying, anything is possible. Maybe this is the great beginning.
I hope so, man. Like I said, anything that disrupts the narrative in college football, I'm all about. So I'm hoping you guys are right. I just told you how I felt. So I appreciate the commentary there, but we're going to have a little fun now. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back. We're going to do a little game show. We're going to play a little game and see how smart you guys are when it comes to NFL ownership. Do you think you can do that?
I'll give you what I got, boss.
I ain't got anything. But
we'll see how it goes. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to play Do You Know That NFL Owner? And basically what we're going to do here is, gentlemen, I'm going to shout out these guys or ladies or whatever their names. And your job is just do 2 things. 1, tell me what team they own. And then number 2, if you can tell me why they're a billionaire, that would be even great. So that's the challenge, to see if you know these NFL owners or not. So I feel like this one might be fairly easy. Let's just start off with Bill Bidwell.
Bill Bidwell owns the Arizona Cardinals.
Do you concur?
Sure.
You are both correct. See how easy this is? We're doing good already. How did he get his money?
Oil.
No, he didn't get it from oil, but he did get it from nefarious means. Actually, not really. He just inherited it from his father, Charles Bidwell, who was a wealthy Chicago lawyer. But according to some books, that he had connections with Al Capone. So.
Yeah, he was a mob
guy.
Yeah. So, we're off to a
maybe he can tell us where Hoff is.
he's under the, what's the name of the stadium? We did that the other day.
Meadowlands.
I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, Hoff is in the Meadowlands. That's right. All right, how about Arthur Blank?
Arthur Blank. Falcons.
Mr.
He
Brown
owns
in
Home
with
Depot.
The Falcons. Yeah, he was a co-owner of Home Depot when they first started, so that one's pretty easy. Stephen Biscotti.
Stephen Biscotti owns the Baltimore Ravens.
Wow, Biggie knows his owners. How did he make his
I
money?
have no idea.
I was thinking of that actor that just turned 64 this week, or 65, from the Adam Sandler movies.
Steve Buscemi.
Oh, crazy eyes. I'm stuck in a wood chipper.
That's the first thing that popped in my head. Sorry.
I'm glad I called that guy. So Biscotti founded Aerotech, which is like a staffing company that does like tech jobs and things like that. So how about Terry Pagula?
Buffalo Bills owner, also owns the Buffalo Sabres.
Correct. How'd he get his money?
I would assume through building tables, like school tables.
Right. You just keep making tables, and then they break them, so the supply and demand.
The stock's got to be great.
I'm going with that. That sounds like a good answer.
You're close, but it's actually natural gas drilling and fracking. Damn, that was close. David Tepper.
David Tepper owns I know this one. Hold on.
He bought him in 2018.
Yep. I can see it in front of me. Carolina Panthers.
Ding, ding, ding. He bought him from, Jerry Richardson after he had all those sexual harassment allegations. And you may not have known this, but he had to sell his 5% stake in the Pittsburgh Steelers to go to Carolina. Yep. So, which 5% of the Steelers netted him $122 million, by the way, when he sold it.
5%.
5%.
Holy.
So the way Tepper got his money, you want to guess? This is a great one.
I'm going to say it was aerodynamics.
You got to guess, Mr. Brown?
I'm going to say door-to-door selling Tupperware.
No, that was close. But he was actually a high-risk hedge fund manager who bet against collapsing companies like Enron and WorldCom, which made him a billionaire by 2003.
So was he an inside man?
Yeah, he was one of those guys. He reportedly once kept a set of brass testicles on his office desk. That was probably like from...
With a wheelbarrow.
Glenn, I think it was like the Glengarry Glen Ross thing. Okay. You got to have balls. How about, this should be an easy one, Virginia Hallis McCaskey.
The Chicago Bears.
Is that not the most Chicago Bears sounding name ever, though?
Yep.
McCaskey. I mean, we know Hallis is, obviously, so can you guess how she got her money?
Well, she's 98, so I'm guessing it came from her daddy.
Yeah, her daddy was George Hallis, and George Hallis made all his money from football. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. He basically, you think about how the rise in revenue of the NFL, if you founded the Bears, think about how much they're worth today.
Oh, yeah.
So, Mike Brown.
I don't know this one. I don't know. Do you know who it is?
I do know it. And he is the only owner besides Jerry Jones who is the general manager as well. And the Bengals are only valued at $900 million, while all but one other team are valued over $1 billion. Part of that's probably because they don't even have an indoor practice facility. But can you guess how Mike Brown got his money?
I'm going to say textiles.
Yeah, he just got it from his daddy, who founded the Bengals, Paul Brown. So, which the Bengals have one of the only stadiums that's still just called a name, Paul Brown Stadium.
Yep,
without the endorsement.
I like that. As cheap as they are,
which is why they're only worth $900 million.
Maybe if they would put that in there, they'd be over.
We could have Kroger Field or something.
Yeah,
Centos or whatever.
Skyline.
Skyline Chili Stadium.
Exactly.
Like yeah. All right. How about Jimmy Haslam?
Jimmy Haslam owns the Cleveland Browns.
There you go. How did he make his money?
Truck stops.
Yeah. Do you know anything specific about the truck stops in Jimmy Haslam?
There was big-time embezzlement issues a little while back.
They apparently were scheming companies off like fuel rebates or something like that and robbing them blind.
I thought they was going to say like skimp soap in the shower or something.
Rope. You need the rope.
Yeah. Soap on a rope.
All right, Jerry Jones, how did he make his money?
Oil.
There you go. That's an easy one. We can keep moving on. Real quick, though, I will throw. Do you want to guess what the Cowboys are estimated to be worth?
$4.7 billion.
4.2. Good job.
Highest NFL, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You know who's second?
No.
Really?
They're the second highest rated NFL franchise.
Even higher than Washington?
Yep.
Washington was number 2, which is amazing.
Well, when you have no identity, it's probably when they swap places.
Yeah. They lost their trademark money. So, how about Pat Bowlen?
Denver Broncos, although it isn't Pat Bowlen anymore, it's Pat Bowlen's kid.
That's true. Do you know how they made their money?
Mile High pot dispensaries.
No, it's old money.
I was going to say taming stallions.
Oil drilling. He's an oil man. But I like the taming stallions one. So yeah. All right. How about Martha Ford?
Detroit Lions.
Yeah, that's an easy one, right? How do you think they got their money?
Automobiles.
There you go.
Abandoned warehouses.
All right, so this might be a tough one. The Green Bay Packers Incorporated.
Well, the people.
Yeah. So did you know that that's actually against NFL bylaws for them to have a collective own a team?
Did you know they're selling shares of the team again soon?
That's how they raise
this
money.
year.
That's how they raise money. They do that every like 5 or 6 years.
They just did it already.
My cousin has one. You get a little certificate that says you own a part of the Green Bay Packers.
They are the only, I believe, sports franchise that's owned that way.
Well, in the NFL, they won't let anyone else do it. They only are allowed to do it because they've been grandfathered in.
But anybody else in sports do it?
I don't think so.
They are the only professional sports team that will never relocate because they're owned by
Green Bay. Yep.
All right, Janice McNair.
Titans.
Close.
Air McNair.
Janice McNair? Let me think.
Owned it since 2018.
Ooh, you said close.
So what team probably has the closest ties to McNair outside?
Oh, Texans.
There you go. Bob McNair, he passed away. So
That's
Janice
what's throwing me off. I keep thinking
it.
about the inmates running the asylum. I was like, there's no way that guy had family.
So check this out. They spent $700 million to get the rights to have the Texans in '99. It's worth $1.85 billion now. The 5th most valuable NFL franchise.
The Texans.
The Texans.
How?
Because that many people in Texas hate the Cowboys.
Oh, wow.
So how did they get their money?
Oil.
Close.
I was going to say booty waxings.
Enron is on the list again. They sold their power plants to Enron in 1999. That's great timing.
All right.
All right. How about Jim Irsay?
He is the Indianapolis Colts owner, and he got his money from his daddy, who owned the Baltimore Colts.
Right.
He moved them in the middle of the night, just like Urban got fired.
You know, his daddy owned another NFL team after Biggie Belches.
No, I did not. Who was it?
The Rams.
No.
In 72. And it was the only time ever this has happened where people just like, I want the Colts. Well, I want the Rams. We'll switch.
Do you know who the current Rams owner is?
We're going to get there. Don't jump the gun here.
Sorry,
We're on the list. All right, how about Shad Khan?
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Everyone should know that right now. So you know how he made his money?
Shaka Khan.
Wrestling.
Yeah, entertainment.
All elite wrestling. He made bumpers. They made bumpers. He worked for a company that made bumpers, and then he decided he could make them better, so he did, and they're the exclusive bumper supplier for Toyota.
Nice.
Damn.
So, interesting there. Clark Hunt.
Kansas City Chiefs.
That's an easy one, right? How do you think they got their money?
Well, he got the team from his daddy.
Do you know where his daddy got his money?
Ketchup.
World-class barbecue.
He's from Texas, so...
Oil.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dean Spanos. Wow. Owned it since 2018.
A lot of recent owners.
Well, see, that don't really make sense to me because Spanos owns the Chargers. Oh, did his dad die? Or did they have a... Because Spanos has owned the Chargers for many years.
His father, Alex Spanos.
That's what it was. All right. When you said 2018, I was like, that's the Chargers, but it doesn't make sense.
But they got rich by having a catering company.
Oh.
$800 is what they took out their first loan.
Catalina wine mixer.
That's fucking Catalina wine mixer. Get my nut. All right, Stephen M. Ross.
Dolphins.
Yep, 2009. See, Biggie's good at this. Dolphins are worth $1.3 billion, by the way. How did he get rich?
No clue. Mr. Brown?
He sold helicopters.
At the Catalina wine mixer. He was a tax attorney. Then he got into real estate and just kind of went from there. So I don't know. That one's a little vague.
That's sketchy.
Ziggy Wilf.
Minnesota Vikings.
I was going to say, if Biggie doesn't get that one, I'll be upset. How'd they get their money, Biggs?
Oh, I believe he was a real estate guy.
He is, and his parents are Holocaust survivors.
Wow.
So there you go. We know Bob Kraft. How did he make his money?
Mac and cheese.
Massage parlors. Or packaging. We like massage parlors. Gail Benson.
That's the Saints.
Good job.
I got to jump in when I can.
See, how'd she get her money besides...
flashing her titties and Mardi Gras.
That's how Tom Benson married her. So do you know how Tom Benson made his money before he gave it all to her?
Saggy nuts at Mardi Gras.
Nobody pays for that. Nobody gives the beats for that.
I don't know. Does he make a mean shrimp Creole?
It was car dealerships.
Okay.
So that's where he's at. John Mara and Steve Tisch.
John Meyer and Steve Tisch.
Mara. The Maras.
They own the New York Giants.
They do.
I was going to say the Giants.
They bought the Giants. The Mara family bought the Giants in 1925 for $500. So
what?
Yeah.
See, when you said Tisch, it kind of threw me off because I thought the Maras have always been the predominant owners, maybe.
Tisch is a former postmaster general, and he owned Lowe's Corporation, not the LOWES, but LOEWS, which is like a grocery store.
If it was LOWES, you'd have a first-hand relationship.
Robert Wood Johnson IV.
Robert Wood Johnson IV.
Yep.
Let me think for a second.
He bought them in 2000 for $635 million. They're now worth $1.8 billion. But if you ask the fan base, they would just simply tell you they're priceless. Woody Johnson is the heir to Johnson & Johnson, and he is the owner of the New York Jets.
Okay.
Why?
Did
you say Woody Johnson?
Yeah.
No, you said something.
I said his official name.
Okay. F you. That was a trick question.
All right, Mark and Carol Davis.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
So we know how they got their money, right?
Yeah.
From Daddy. Jeffrey Lurie.
Jeffrey Lurie owns the Eagles.
You're right. How did he get his money?
Natural gas.
Bottling companies and clothing retailers. Huh. And they made a production company and made movies. Oh, well. Dan Rooney, that's an easy one.
Yep.
Steelers, that's football money. So they're a football family. Jed York.
Jed York owns the San Francisco 49ers.
You're right. Do you know how he made his money?
He was in tech stuff.
Yeah, he's the nephew of Edward DiBartolo Jr., who was the Niners owner, and they made a lot of their money from construction and real estate, it says. Shopping malls.
See, what's funny about him being the nephew is that DiBartolo got forced out of the league for that type of thing, which was like they tied him in with the mob.
Yeah. All right, so we got a couple more, then we got to wrap up on the fun owners game here. Paul G. Allen Trust, so it's not even technically
Seahawks.
Owns it. Yeah, so he didn't even just give it to his wife, but we know how Paul Allen made his money.
Was it Apple or Microsoft?
Microsoft.
Okay.
Microsoft in 1975. That's when they founded it. That's crazy.
Wow.
But his net worth was worth around $17.5 billion. Stan Kroenke.
Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, he owns a bunch of other teams. Do you know who?
He owns the Denver Avalanche and the Denver Nuggets.
Yes.
Or the Colorado Avalanche.
Either way.
Yeah.
Both are acceptable. Do you know how he got this has blew me away. Do you know how he got rich?
Isn't he a real estate tycoon?
He is, but there's another thing that helped him get super rich.
What is it?
Do you know who his wife is?
No.
Anna Walton.
Oh, my God. Sam Walton.
Yep.
Walmart.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That helps things out.
Cheap labor. Hell yeah.
The Glazer family.
That's the Bucks.
That is the
Yes.
Bucks. So, you know, they pretty much have no money, though, because they were doing real estate, but it all collapsed in the market. But they own the Bucks, so they pretty much only have the Bucks now.
Yeah. So when they win the Super Bowl, that really helps you.
Yes. KSA Industries. They are an owner of a team. It's actually a holding company established by former owner Bud Adams.
Oh, okay. That's the Titans.
That's the Titans. So last but not least, Dan Snyder. Do you know how Dan Snyder made his money?
I do not.
Hiding emails.
Well,
he worked for Hillary Clinton.
Marketing and advertising company with his sister, and they specialize in doctors' offices and hospitals where they give new mothers like maternity crap and goodie bags.
Paper shredders.
Yes. Paper shredders. It was before the day of email. So you can just click delete. Things were better then. It was a more simple time for the Snyders.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all the owners. The one thing I learned from reading that earlier today was that a lot of them just have football money, and the rest of them, real estate seems to be a good thing. And if you can't get into real estate, be a Texas oil guy, and you'll be just fine.
Yep.
So is there any one of those owners' lives you would like to have more than anyone else?
Well, I'd love to have
Kraft for you.
I'll take him out because that's my team. If there was one other guy's life I could have there, it would be Jerry Jones because you're the owner, general manager. You do your own interview after every game. Put
Correct.
my face out there. You know what, Mike? He sucks. He's fat. He ate too much. I'm going to coach next team. Next year.
He's running his routes wrong. I think Jerry Jones should be the unanimous answer for everybody.
Yeah.
Because you're still making money hand over fist and spite yourself.
Yes. And they haven't won a Super Bowl since VHS.
Doesn't matter.
I'm just saying.
Doesn't matter.
It's that much difference.
Right.
And imagine if he'd sneak in and win one.
Oh, my God.
The world would end.
It would implode upon itself. All right, let's get ready to do some picks here in a minute. Time for a break. All right, before we get into our NFL Stone Cold Lead Pipe Blocks of the Week, we would be doing a disservice if we didn't talk about history and just at least highlight that history was made this week, Mr. Brown.
For any of those that watches NBA still, yes, it did happen.
It did. And let's go ahead and just talk about Mr. Stephen Curry, who is now the all-time leader in three-point field goals. Is this a record that will ever be broken?
It's hard to say. I mean, for me, because the game is played that way now. Every kid that walks into a gym, thanks to Steph Curry, now says, I'm going to shoot a three on a fast break on a 2-on-1 instead of taking my layup because it's the cool thing to do. But not everyone's Steph Curry. So we've had Ray Allen broke Reggie Miller.
Right.
Ray Allen is now broke by Steph Curry, and they were all there at the ceremony. So I think it's going to be a while because guess what? It's age 33 season for Steph Curry.
Yeah, I mean, he's got at least like 3 seasons where he's probably
and that's on the under.
Like 3 where he's still going to be highly productive.
With the game he plays though, because it don't take a toll on his body like a LeBron type player, Kobe, Mike, those types of players. It takes a toll because they're going in the post, they're making those moves. All defensive team, which we know Steph Curry is not.
Right.
He's a liability on defense because he's just going to sit back and bomb threes, but he's really good at it. So to me, he at least plays the age 38 season. So 5 more years at least.
Right. Well, I mean,
he's broke the record right now.
He's a guy that can be a role player, if his skills diminish, because the one thing he still will be able to do is shoot the ball.
Right.
So if he, what if he plays 3 years where he's still an all-star level, and then he turns into like a Cal Korver.
Or even a Vince Carter type.
Well,
if he's Vince Carter
if we want to make it completely untouchable, play till you're 51.
Dude.
I mean,
like, he could legit be that player. He could play for the next 10 years.
Yeah, could he make it to 2030? I think he could.
I think he could.
He could. I don't think he will, but he could.
And to say it's untouchable, probably. But then again, that's what people do now.
But
let me say this. Skip Bayless tried to say that him breaking Ray Allen's record was comparable to Hank Aaron breaking Babe Ruth's record. What do you think about that?
I don't know. It's not as iconic. It's only iconic because of Steph. Because let's be honest, like Ray Allen. All right, Ray Allen had the record. Ray Allen was a complete player. Ray Allen averaged 27 points a game during his peak. You know what I mean?
People forgot during his heydays, he was in the slam dunk competition.
Milwaukee, Seattle, and then he went to Boston where he was a little older, and then Miami, right?
But at that point, he was a sharpshooter.
So people remember the Boston and Miami years more than anything. But the thing about Ray Allen was, he could shoot the ball, but he could do a lot of other things too. And yeah, he passed Reggie. And Reggie Miller was, again, another good player that could shoot the three. But, like, you go back in history, these guys only shot, three. Chris Mullin shot, three threes a game maybe at his highest season?
It's the game, though. It wasn't cool to since Curry's been in the game.
Curry got drafted in 2008.
Yeah, I mean. But
how different is the NBA now versus then?
It's so much different. Like, now the thing is shoot the three. Because analytics now say shoot the three if you're open, right?
Right. And even if you're not open, if you're Curry.
3 for 2. So I feel like and I'm not saying he would still have the record, but let's say that Bird or a Mullen or a Ray Allen or Reggie Miller had that mindset going in from the beginning, we might be talking. I mean, let's say Curry might have to take like 3 more years to break the records. All I'm saying. Does that make sense?
All right. So do you know who number 2 is actively?
Right now?
Yep.
I'm going to say Lou Williams.
Lou, just because he's played a long time.
Yeah.
It's the beard.
Is it?
Yeah.
He's already that far.
He's 400 behind Curry.
400.
400 threes.
Wow. Okay.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
James Harden's got 2,500 threes.
I believe that.
So we talk about a high volume shooter.
Yeah.
And even he. So like you're banking on, not you, but you would be banking on someone shooting a three at a higher clip than Harden or Curry. And that just seems unfathomable to me.
No, I don't think it is. Harden's sloppy.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like the guys that are going to get those
what
shots.
What year did Harden come into the league?
You said Curry was 08. He was before, wasn't he? He came.
Sure.
He was 09.
So right there together.
Yeah. But no, they came in the same year. They were both 09. My bad. They got drafted in 08, played in 09. All
right. So they're right there together, and he's 400 behind him. So that shows you at the rate Curry's making threes more than James Harden. And Curry even missed the whole season.
Curry makes 3.8 3-pointers a game, and Harden makes 2.8. So he makes a solid 3 more a game.
That's 80 a game. 80 a year.
Over 9 years he's done that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to overhype Curry, and back to your question about the baseball reference, it's not as big. It's not. If it was for it to rival something like that, it would have to be the scoring title. It'd have to be something similar.
My point would be that because Ray Allen beat Reggie, now Steph beat Ray, it's happening
because the game's changed
10, 15 years.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
Correct.
You went from Babe Ruth in the 1920s and 30s to Hank Aaron in the 70s. So it was a huge gap. So, but the point is that my thing that would compare to Babe and Hank would be if someone would take over Ray Allen, or I'm sorry, Curry. That would have the same comparison.
Unless it happened 5 to 10 years from now, then it wouldn't. You would be just like,
I don't see it happening that quick.
But what happened? You know what it's comparable to, if you want to compare Aaron passing Babe, would be if an NFL team went undefeated this year or next year and won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
because the Dolphins did it in '72. And how many times have people done it since then?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. It's a big deal.
It's that point.
It'd be if somebody broke Ricky Henderson's steals.
Right. And that's why, to me, this record, Curry's a badass, but it's not the same as the others.
No.
But I can, with that same breath, I can't say that no one will beat it.
No, because Curry will be kind of partly responsible if somebody does beat it, because he changed the NBA. Like, we talk about him being on our Mount Rushmore of guys who have changed the game.
Not that influential. Not
that he's the best of all time.
Right.
He's arguably the best shooter of all time.
So we're saying again, it's Mike, Curry,
Magic,
and who?
Dirk Nowitzki.
Really?
Yeah, because with Dirk, now it's cool for a 6'11" guy to play on the perimeter.
The stretch 4.
Right.
So to speak.
Yeah. If without Dirk, you don't look at Kevin Durant the same way. You don't look at all these Euro guys that have come over. Like, he did it too.
Right.
The 7-footer playing outside, and then the Euro portal. He's just going crazy. So, Curry's the most influential player probably since Jordan, I think.
I agree with that.
And it's changed the game. Like you said, all the way down to the AAU level to, kids not putting in the work and shooting half-court bombs thinking that's how the game's played. When Curry he shoots the volume, but he shoots it at a percentage that's tops in the NBA as well.
He's a precision shooter.
Right.
And I hate it. I hate it because kids want to think that, that's how the game's played. And, where Curry, he's never going to be an all-defensive team type guy. But not everyone's Steph Curry. So my point is, it's how about you work on your defense along the way, and then if you develop into a Steph Curry-esque type player, which you're not, then it's even better. But why do you got to be I'm the guy like he is? You're not.
No, you
don't just shoot from the volleyball line.
They're not shooting 1,000 threes in practice.
Don't shoot from the volleyball line. Do a pump fake and feed your teammate or something smart. I hate the new game of basketball.
It's not as fun. College is still fun to watch.
Yeah,
it's still.
And don't get me wrong. Steph Curry's a badass, but not ever.
Curry's fun to watch.
You can't compare it to that.
Right.
And everyone wants to talk about James Harden and the way this rule change has affected him. Steph Curry's still just chugging along.
Right. He doesn't have to rely on gimmicks and tricks, man, because Curry is the one guy that will put off the dumbest shot you've ever seen. But when he shoots it, you feel it yet somewhat at ease because it's coming out of his hands.
And then when he makes it, even if it's ridiculous, you're like, yeah, that probably should have went in.
It's so stupid.
This rule change to me shows you how much better Curry is than anybody else in the game today.
As far as shooting goes, absolutely.
Because Harden, it's severely affected. Curry, the same guy. It don't phase the guy.
Pure scorer, man.
He's just like, here, give me the rules. I'll shoot the rock.
Like he's a scoring champ on being a gimmick 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
Like that's how good he is. Nobody else comes close to that.
And then on top of that, this year, he's doing it without Clay, who's getting ready to come back.
Right. If he's even 80%, that are the Warriors, can we say in December the Warriors might be the team to beat?
I think the Wild Wild West is very open, but when you get Clay back and Wiseman, dude, just punch the ticket.
They're going to be scary, man.
Punch that ticket.
I ain't worried about the Lakers.
No, I'm not either. they're trying to hold to 500.
Hey, you know what? We talked positive NBA again.
Yeah,
that's good for us. We're on a good streak this year.
I'm appreciating the NBA because I'm going to tell you why. Not just because of Curry, but this year, for whatever reason, there's a little edge back. We got the Jokic and the Morris brothers. Yeah. We got them going at it. And I feel like there's a little bit of edginess to the game right now, and I appreciate that.
I like that. Call it what it is. I'm not a big LeBron fan, and I like seeing the other guys emerge and trying to take market share of this league here. That's what I want to see. I want to see these guys step up. And you know what? We're not even talking about the Bucks.
No.
And they're not bad.
No.
You know, they're still around. We'll see what happens.
I appreciate the fact that both conferences are wide open.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a crapshoot, and I like it.
Give me the playoff time. I'll be ready.
Absolutely.
All right, we hear that music once again, and we know what time it is. It's time for the week, 14? 15? 15? I think we're in week 15. We're in the week 15 NFL Stone Cold led by blocks. And just to remind everybody, we talked about it a little bit earlier. I am now over 500. I'm doing okay. I'm 108, 99, and 1. I'm not feeling bad as I was just 3 or 4 weeks ago. And Biggie, you have had a couple decent weeks here too. You are now 114, 93, and 1, and you are a top 10 performer nationwide. How does that feel?
I have arrived. I'm still on Mr. Brown's coattails, but I'm in a respectable position, and I'm feeling good.
I mean, anytime you're in the, 5th overall, maybe 7th? I don't know. It's up there, top 10 to say the least. But Mr. Brown is still the reigning, defending. We're not defending. Biggie did last year, but he is the number 1 pick guy for We Don't Know Sports and number 3 nationally behind whoever Gridiron Isle is and a guy from CBS Sports. Those are the 2 guys.
Soak it in, man.
And he is 116, 91, and 1.
You can't make this shit up.
So, let's just kick it off and see if we can get going here. Last week.
Hey, before you get started, any of you ass clowns that's on this page of experts and quotations, bring their asses on the show. I'd love to talk to you head to head because you ain't shit. Come on the show. Let's see what you got.
And anybody can get lucky one week, Yeah. But we're on 15 weeks of just
pure domination. Thermal Tommy came out of the gates hot.
Like right now, between us 3, we are the nation of domination. That's what we do. So come on the show. I don't care what.
Just make what?
No. At what publication you're from.
Anybody.
I don't care. Anybody that's ahead of me, behind me, or whatever. Come on the show, you so-called experts, and let's see what you got. Because guess what? You ain't got the factor that we got. Come on the show. I'm not even a football guy, and I'll still beat your ass. Come on the show. Let's see what you got.
I want to find out who Gridiron Al is. I don't know who.
Let's get him on the show.
I don't know what I can't find him.
He scored 4 touchdowns in a high school game in 1966.
That's what it is.
Against Spare Tire Dixon.
We can get both of them on. We can have a round robin.
I'm just saying, bring him on the show.
I have a Thursday night game going on in the background, and just to get everybody on the record here, we put it out on social media already, but Mr. Brown, you and I both are picking the Chiefs to cover that 3-point road favorite, and Biggie is the lone lightning bolt with the Chargers. He's seeing some magic in Herbert. Are they going to win, or are they just going to cover the 3?
I think they'll win outright. I'm rolling with some Justin Herbert. Go Chargers, go.
All right, well, we'll see how that shakes out. But last week, guys, I went 10-4. Biggie went 10-4. Mr. Brown only went 7-7, so he saw the lead.
No, I was over 500.
I got you at 7-7.
It's bad when you have a regular week and you lose games, because that's not a bad week.
No. I felt like I was over 500, though.
I think you were until the Monday night game. But what happened was...
Oh, yeah, we all lost the Monday night
when I
game.
looked at the top 10 pickers out there, they all had, just shit weeks. Everybody sucked. It was a tough week, so Biggie and I just had very good fortune. So let's see whose fortune picks up as we go to the first game Sunday. Or do they start Saturday this week?
Saturday this week.
Saturday game.
2 games on Saturday.
Is one of them Mr. Brown's Raiders?
Yes.
At Cleveland, where the Browns... Is that right? I got the Raiders as a 3.5-point favorite? Yeah, because Baker
half the
Mayfield's
Browns
not
team's
playing.
on COVID.
Right. So...
Can I go first?
Sure.
Your team, you go first.
So... They're doing online polls in Cleveland. Any group I've seen, they're going crazy because they know the playoffs are on the line. They're voting should the game be postponed. And if they're already voting, they're in this panic mode. As bad as the Raiders are, the shit show that's going on, Raiders are going to win the game outright. I don't care if the spread is. Raiders all day long, because the Cleveland Browns and their faithful are in pure panic mode right now.
Well, the Raiders have players, so that's a respectable pick.
Yeah.
For once, I'm going to let Biggie go last. I also have the Raiders covering the spread, even though they're a road favorite. And road favorites have done really well, and I imagine this one's going to go really well since, Cleveland's, they don't have anybody.
Here's the thing. If it were not for Mayfield being out, even with Mayfield out, if half their team wasn't on the COVID list,
if it was just Mayfield,
I would be taking the Browns to cover.
I would
with
too.
Keenum.
If it was just Case Keenum, I'm with you.
Yeah, they're short so many players. I have to pick the Raiders by default.
All right, so we're across the board. We're basically.
Damn, I was going to feel good about that one. I hate my Raiders right now.
We're taking the Raiders
Case
to beat
Keenum
COVID.
came out and said a full Chubb in the backfield was good enough. I was riding that
Full
until
Chubb
their
where?
entire offensive line went out.
All right, well, we're going to go back-to-back favorites here. We'll go to Biggie's team, the New England Patriots, who, man, they are not a favorite this week.
They're a road dog, baby.
They're a road dog to the Indianapolis Colts, who have been one of the hottest teams in the NFL. The Colts are a 2.5-point home favorite.
Patriots all day, baby.
That's it? You don't want to expand on that? I mean, that's usually you have a lot.
So the last 2 teams that have ran the ball down the Bills' throat to the point that the Bills don't even want to be in the playoffs anymore, Colts and Patriots. Don't expect this game to be a shootout between Mac Jones and Carson Wentz. Not that anybody would, because that's not going to happen. Mac 10, MJ 10, Bobby Kraft, Mac and Cheese, Patriots by 10.
Got you. All right.
I'm sorry I didn't hear the spread or where it's at.
It is 2.5 in Indy.
Patriots. It's pretty easy.
All right, yeah. I think the Patriots, what they do is they make your weakness a bigger weakness. They attack whatever that is. And they don't care if Taylor runs the ball. He'll get a little bit, but they're not going to let Carson Wentz be. They'll make his life a living hell. So
the Patriots have not given up a single point in the second half of the last 6 games.
That's pretty damn impressive. That's halftime adjustments right there. All right.
Coming off a bye week. Come on.
Can't believe it, but we're doing 3 of our favorite teams in a row. We got my Bengals on the road to Mile High, and the Bengals are fighting for a playoff spot here. The Broncos are a 2.5-point home favorite. And I just am going to ride the consistency of not ever picking my Bengals to cover because that's just the way life goes for me. So I'm letting you know the Broncos are going to cover at home. And Cincinnati's playoff hopes are not for this year. We'll have to wait till next year. But it's still a good season they've had.
It's nice of you to be so optimistic about your team. Future NFL MVP Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, stud of the year, maybe rookie of the year if it weren't for Mac Jones, Jamar Chase. Here's the thing. You're going to roll into Denver. What's Denver do? They do the thing the Chargers do. They play good one week, not so good the next week. They played solid 2 weeks in a row. You know why they played so well last week? Unfortunately, Demaryius Thomas played, and they played like hell in his honor. Yep. They were also playing a Lions team coming off a win who set up for a letdown. Playoffs are on the line. Golden Joe Burrow is going to lead you in there. You're going to win by 10.
I hope you're right.
I like the Broncos, man. I feel like no one gives them any credit, and they just come in and they do their thing.
Remember when we said they were the worst 3-0 team in all of football?
Yeah, I mean, they hang in there. They hang around. I feel like the Broncos will win this game.
In our defense, at that point, they were 3-0. The three teams they had beaten were combined 0-9.
I know, but the thing is, they still are in the playoff hunt. Like, they haven't died off. So they're right there. So you're the lone wolf. You get to be the Bengal. That's the confidence level right there.
There you go. I feel better about my record every day.
Here's a real big spread. The Panthers on the road to Buffalo, and the Bills are a 10.5-point home favorite. I don't know who's quarterbacking for the Panthers. I heard they activated Darnold.
They have. I think Cam Newton will start again for them. They're in a little bit of disarray. Offense sucks. They've blamed it on Joe Brady, fired him. I'm going to go out on a limb here. The Bills, who were an easy pick to cover the big spreads earlier in the year, aren't so much right now. I think this is the one game the rest of the year where they come out and set the world on fire. I'm going to take the Bills to cover.
What the hell's going on in Buffalo, though?
Well, what I do know is they were down 27-3 to the defending Super Bowl champs and took them to overtime last week.
Yeah. This is tough for me.
It's a big spread.
Yeah, it was a feel-good story early on when Cam came back, and he kind of held his own, and then it's gotten progressively worse each game with Cam.
It's like a week and a half good story.
So, yeah, I got to take the Bills. I feel like the Bills rebound and they cover the spread.
So I feel like the Bills figured out what the hell they've been doing wrong in the second half last week, and I think you're going to see that team show up. They're at home. They're playing a vulnerable Panthers team. They have the playoffs on the line, too. This is where they right the ship. They win by 20. They cover the spread. So we're across the board with the Bills. All right, now our darling pick has let us down last week, but it was like 4 weeks in a row this team covered for us. They're at home hosting the Arizona Cardinals. The Lions, though, are a 12.5-point home underdog.
Okay. I like the Lions to cover this week. I see Arizona bouncing back off what they did last week, but I don't know if you guys saw this. DeAndre Hopkins is having MCL surgery.
He's out for the year.
Yeah. They think he could play in the playoffs maybe, but
playoffs.
I think this is a nice bounce back for the Lions at home. When I say bounce back, they lose like 28-17 instead of 28-7.
I like Arizona to roll in this one. I just feel like they let us down last week. So I like Arizona to roll regardless of Hopkins or not.
I think Arizona's going through a little bit of a lull right here. I think they got beat up physically and emotionally last week. Losing Hopkins doesn't help. But the Lions, I thought they could cover against the Broncos, but they had an angel on their side with Demaryius Thomas, as Biggie mentioned. The Lions get back on track, and by back on track, it means they cover, but they definitely lose this game. So you're the lone card.
What's the card one do?
Soars.
Soars.
Through the air.
Tweet. If I hear that shit in the woods, I'm running. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that was.
Oh, shit.
Some weird sound.
All right, we're going to act like that didn't happen and go to the next game. Stop it, Mr. Brown. It's not.
It's getting weird.
Move your chair over a little bit, please. All right, how about the Jets on the road to Miami? Miami had a bye week last week, didn't they?
They did.
All right, so they're coming off the bye, and they're getting 9.5 at home against the Jets.
This is a really tough one in that it's a big spread for a Dolphins team that doesn't score a whole lot. coming off a bye. They won 5 straight. Their defense is playing lights out. I'm going to take the Dolphins to cover, although they're starting to have some COVID issues. Between now and the time they play, they may not have the same team.
Remind me again to never take the Cardinals again for a lone wolf.
we will.
No matter what the matchup.
You can only take them as a lone wolf if you know what sound
I think for now on, I will try to make you only do a lone wolf for the Cardinals.
All right,
yeah.
So, just real quick, guys. So if you had to pick a lone wolf, what would your lone wolf be?
You got to save that for when I actually have one. I can't,
right,
I can't give
fine.
that away.
All right, I'm also going to pick the Dolphins. I'm gonna ride on Biggie's coattails here.
I guess I'm just going to say I'm riding on your all's coattails too, because I just have no confidence in the Jets whatsoever. And it's in Miami, and they're coming off a bye with COVID or whatever. Like, it's not as bad as the Browns, but it could, like you said, it could end up screwing us. But we're picking on Thursday. What are you going to do? Yeah, you got to go with your gut. All right, here's another monster spread. This is the fourth one that's right around double digits, and we got another one right after this. The Dallas Cowboys on the road to the Meadowlands playing on top of Jimmy Hoffa. And the Giants at home are a 10.5-point underdog to the Cowboys.
I'm going to ride the Cowboys on this one. I think that the Cowboys are kind of hitting a little stride here. So getting back healthy. When they were struggling, they didn't have CeeDee Lamb. Amari Cooper was out. They're back healthy. And this Giants team, I think Mr. Brown said it well last week, they're ready to bury the entire team down with Jimmy Hoffa.
Did I say that?
No, you said something to that effect.
Oh, well, if I said it, I got to go Cowboys. Because I was going to go Giants, but...
You can go Giants.
I'm going Cowboys.
I'm also taking the Cowboys. I think this is like a 38-10. Like, it's a massacre. Like
I was legit thinking about the Giants here.
Really?
Yeah.
You have the option to change your mind.
I'll go Cowboys.
The game that's on the television right now, the Chargers and Chiefs, they were down 37-7 to the Chiefs or to the Chargers last week.
Okay.
Yes. So...
They're not good, but if you want to take them, go right ahead.
I mean, all they got to do is just not get beat by 10.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you got to do.
We them boys.
All right, we're across the board. All right, the Washington emails on the road in the division to the Eagles, and yet here's another 9.5-point spread. Big one for the Eagles.
To me, this is just way too big of a spread, even though I don't know who's playing quarterback for the emails.
It looks like it might be Heineke, who's not played well the last 2 weeks.
What are the Eagles doing that makes them a 10-point favorite? Is Minshew Mania? Is it Jalen Hurts?
It's the stash. It's Uncle Rico, baby.
I mean, and they play better. It's a emails team that had won 4 straight, played pretty good, lost a tight one last week by 7 with a backup quarterback. I think that Philly wins, but I think it's a lot closer. All they got to do is not lose by 10, right?
Yes.
All right, give me the Fighting Dan Snyders.
All right.
Dude, there's rumors that Gardner Minshew strangled some guy with a wireless phone.
Ooh, over Chuck Norris.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, move over, Chuck Norris. It's Minshew mania.
I mean, Minshew is what Baker Mayfield wishes he was, right?
Absolutely. He's the new Fitz. He's like Fitz 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a lot.
It's just such a big spread.
I'm going to go with the guy who strangled some guy with a wireless phone.
You're taking the Eagles.
I am.
That's interesting. So, I think they're going to be a better team with him at quarterback, but man, I don't see the Eagles beating many people by 10 points. I got the emails.
Really?
Yeah, I got the emails. So you're the lone Eagle.
I can do this better than the Cardinal.
I hope so. It's going to eat the Cardinal. That was great. That was much better. All right, we've restored some order here. All right, for the first time ever since we started doing these picks 3 years ago, I think when we looked at the lines on a Thursday, we have a straight up.
What?
There's a no spread on this game. It's a pick 'em. It's an even spread.
This is madness.
Do you see that?
I see a -1.
When I looked, it was a goose. Let me double check. Let me go check where I.
Although a -1 + 1 is almost a pick 'em.
Well, it is. So I mean, we're close. If it changed, because I don't like having a pick 'em. I don't like that at all.
That's great.
Because I don't want to put that on the board. Let me go.
Yeah, it doesn't fit inside the boxes.
It is
right?
still an even on ESPN.
Oh, FanDuel has it at +1.
DraftKings also has it at even.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
God, I love FanDuel.
We'll go with even.
All right, so we're riding an even spread between the Titans and the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
Give me the fighting Mike Vrabels, baby.
Yeah, I'm going Titans all day.
Really?
Yeah.
So I have just kind of shit on the Titans ever since they lost Henry. I think they have no direction now. I think they're a downward spiral. They're going to continue to get worse. I think the Steelers, I know they've won some games without him, but they've slowly lost their identity on who they are. They are not nearly as good as what they used to be. They're losing this game with a team that is fighting for a playoff spot just as much as they are, because the AFC North is a dumpster fire as far as dominance. Everybody's clustered together. I'm taking the Steelers to cover or to win.
And this has nothing to do with the fact that you're dipping down to Ben Roethlisberger as your starting quarterback in the fantasy
I haven't made
playoffs.
that decision yet. But that shows you where my mind's at. I am thinking that they could have a good game, and it's at home. Terrible towels will be out. And
so give it to us. What's a lone Steeler do?
I mean, what do they do? Oh, I know. Here's what a lone Steeler. All right, let me tell you about the 1970s. You guys, listens up. We got 5 titles. You know, that's we can't talk about anything now. But
It's Ewans,
guys.
Ewans.
Yinzers. I don't know. I'm not a Yinzer, so I can't talk like them because I hate eat shit fit is what I usually say. So, yeah, that's my lone wolf. But yeah, I can't believe I'm taking the Steelers, man. They've been so bad, but
Sacrilegious.
the Titans. All right, how about the Texans and the Jags, baby? Must-see TV.
Wow.
The Jaguars are a home favorite, 4.5 points. That's the Urban Meyer effect. It was a 10-point spread in favor of the Texans. They fired. I don't. It's not really. But wouldn't that be funny if Urban Meyer gets fired and it swings it that much? But Jags are a 4.5 point home favorite.
4.5 point home favorite. Here's the thing. The 2 worst teams in football,
Yes.
although the Jets are
They're worse than the Lions.
I might regret this pick. I'm going to take the Jags to cover for one reason. I think the guys in that locker room were done playing for Urban Meyer. They're going to come out on Sunday, play some good hard football, and win.
I thought you was going to go with the Texans the way you're talking. I think it's clear it's the Jags.
It's definitely clear.
Because there's no Urban. They're going to be like, this is how we wanted to play. This jackass wouldn't let us. He's out here kicking our kickers. It's going to be the Jags all day long, and they're going to win by 10.
Ooh,
10.
I like it.
10!
That's what's going to happen, man. We're across the board on the Jags, Biggie. You were uncertain, but we are going to reaffirm your certainty to let you know that the Urban Meyer-less Jags are going to be a real football team, and they're going to have something to show. And I said earlier, if you got James Robinson on your fantasy team, you ride that guy all day long, baby, because he's got something to prove. Trevor Lawrence is going to look like a new quarterback. And they might even make a field goal and not have dipshit kickers. Who knows? Jags across the board. That's nuts. That's the last time that'll happen this year. All right.
Ever.
Here's another monster spread. Falcons going out to San Fran. The Niners, 9.5 at home.
Here's the thing. If it were anybody other than Niners, a 10-point spread like against the Bucks or another team with a high-octane offense, I might have a hard time taking the Falcons to cover. I do like them as a cover as a dog. They tend to play better against worse competition. You know, when they play the teams that aren't like Panthers, so win by 10, 12, 13 points. This Niners team is not built to blow you out unless you turn the ball over a ton, which the Falcons and Matt Ryan will not do for the first time ever on Sunday. I'll take the Falcons to cover just because I don't see them losing by 10.
I have zero faith in the Falcons at all.
All right.
So I'm going Niners.
Taking the Niners.
Yeah.
So they're going to win by 10.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm taking the Falcons because the Falcons are actually in the wild card hunt.
Yeah.
If you haven't been paying attention, they're
battling for the 7th.
They're one game under 500.
They are tied with like 3 other teams for the 8th spot right now.
And they're not going to beat a good team, but is San Francisco a good team?
They are.
Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't.
This is like an elimination game for the wild card. The team that loses this one is out of the race.
They're probably done. So, yeah, you're the lone wolf, buddy. You're riding the Niners, man.
It's made of gold.
San Fran. All right, the Seahawks Seahawks who beat the Niners not too long ago on the road to L.A. playing the Rams. The Rams are 5.5 at home.
Rams.
Oh wow,
that was quick.
Sadly, I agree. Your aggression kind of scared me.
Rams. Yeah, I think the Rams win this one by 5.5. The Seahawks, man, with Russ back, they're still not good.
No, they're not. And Rams are coming high off that Monday night game. I know they got a few guys in COVID protocol.
Rashad Penny, man.
I still think they're a touchdown better than the
Rashad.
Seahawks.
All right, so we're Rams across the board. Here's an interesting one. We're going to Baltimore. Packers visiting the Ravens. The Packers are a 5.5-point favorite. Lamar Jackson's status is still up in the air.
I'm going to say Packers before Biggie talks.
Packers.
Give me the Packers. I just bought a share of the team, baby. I'm an owner.
Yeah, it's Packers.
You bought a $350 certificate that actually gives you no dividends because it's a nonprofit.
Whether Lamar plays or not, I think the Packers are the clear pick.
Yeah, I think this spread could change quite a bit between now
When it
and
becomes
then.
official, he's not playing.
So you're only giving me 5.5? Yeah, the Packers
We
win
talked
by
about
10.
this today in the office, actually.
Yeah. Well, what was that conversation like?
Packers.
Just all that was it. We just walked around going, Packers.
I actually had a Packers fan in the office. She was like, what's the deal with the Ravens? You know much about them? I'm like, I know Lamar's questionable. Does it matter? Hell no, it doesn't. I'm taking that hippie from, wherever he's from, Saskatchewan.
No cow.
No cow.
No cow.
But look at him.
Saskatchewan.
It's the Packers all day. I don't care if it's is AJ, what's his name? Dylan's playing. You're starting him. Crazy. And what about Aaron Jones?
Jones is
Dylan's
out there.
out touching Aaron Jones, but Aaron Jones got the end zone twice last week, so
All right.
just depends.
The Packers all day.
Yeah, Packers all day. All right, Saints, Bucks in Tampa. 11 points for Tampa Bay.
Gosh, that's a really big spread. I really want to pick the Bucks to hammer this one. I just can't quite do it because the last time they played, the Saints won in New Orleans.
Where?
New Orleans. And one of the things we talked about, Taysom Hill not looking as good. Their offensive line's back healthy. Last week he had Kamara back for the first time. The Bucks win this game, but it's closer. The Saints, for the last 2 years with Brady there, have played them really well or beat them. I like them to cover.
Biggie sounded like Kevin from The Office at the very beginning. He was like, wow, that's a really big
He
spread.
did. Absolutely.
And Kevin's good at gambling, we know. So anyway, what's your pick, Mr. Brown?
So we keep talking about places we want to go, add to the show. We've all got to go to Nolan's.
But this game's in Tampa.
I'm just saying in general.
You're right. We need to go to
Because
Nolan.
I'm
He's
tired-
wearing the pearls.
I'm
beads.
tired of hearing Biggie say it every week.
New Orleans.
We all three of us have to go to Nolan's and witness all that. And Chad, I'm gonna funnel. I'm gonna hold him down and funnel an IPA down his throat.
You got to do the hand grenades if you go down there.
I don't care what we do, but you're gonna drink something, and it's gonna be fun for everybody involved.
You know, an interesting fact about New Orleans and how seriously they take Mardi Gras, which is the week we'll go.
The Super Bowl?
So, since they added an extra week to the season, that means the Super Bowl is now the week of Mardi Gras.
Yep.
It was supposed to be in New Orleans in like 2024 or
Did it again.
2025.
Come on, man. Where?
Sorry, New Orleans. It was supposed to be down there in either 2024 or 2025.
They had to move it.
New Orleans is not changing Mardi Gras, so they had to change the Super Bowl.
Well, let's
You know
be
where the Super
honest.
Bowl's
Like, do
going.
you really want to have the Super
Las
Bowl
Vegas.
at the same time as Mardi Gras? That would be a
Oh my
freaking
God, that would be a party.
Amazing.
too
All right,
much.
so Nolan's. It's gonna be close.
You taking the Saints?
I am to cover.
All right, man. I think this is where Tampa begins that postseason push of dominance. They're going to try to get in earshot of this first round bye. We'll see if it happens. They're covering. They're going to win this game emphatically, and it's going to make the wheels fall off the Sean Payton train down here in New Orleans, and they're going to have to go out and find them a quarterback. They should have signed Phillip Rivers when they had the chance, and they didn't. So I'm taking the Buccaneers so I can just go, yarg, or shiver me timbers, or whatever it is. Hey, you guys. Rocky Road. Last game on the schedule, the Vikings on the road to Chicago on Monday night.
That's terrible.
The Vikings are a 5.5-point road favorite.
What do we do to deserve this game on Monday night?
You
I
suffered
asked my
through.
son and Ryan Bonham Breckle the same thing. Neither one of them really had an answer. They just said, well, it's my team. They should get to play on prime time. The Vikings have had 2 straight primetime games because they had the Thursday nighter and they come back for a Monday nighter. If they were playing someone other than the Bears, I don't think I'd cover them at 5.5 because they like to play too close. The Bears are just that bad. Give me the Vikings.
I mean, I don't have nothing to add other than what you just said. I mean, like Fields, he has some nice runs when he scrambles when the play breaks down. But, my God, he can't put nothing on the board. It's Vikings all day.
Yeah, I'm not adding anything other than I'm not taking the Vikings to cover. I'm taking the Bears to not cover because that's how I feel about this game. So we're Vikings across the board. And can you believe that it's already week 15, fellas? We're getting to the nitty gritty, getting down to the end. But that has been our NFL Stone Cold Lead Pipe Locks of the week. Make sure you check out the grid on our Facebook page so you can see how everybody picked. And if you want to make some money, you can really just pick a few games from any of us, and you're probably going to make some cheddar.
$5 16-leg parlays paying out $158,000. Remember, if you're not as good as the people here at We Don't Know Sports, we encourage you to call 1-800-GAMBLER. Thank you.
$1 bills, y'all.
All right, so we're done with the show. The long show. We're right over an hour already, but we had a lot to go over. And, we're getting close to the holidays. I think we'll probably end up taking, Christmas. We're not going to do a show the day before Christmas Eve, probably.
Yeah, I think we'll take next week off.
Yeah, and then
WDKS Christmas
and then we
special.
go right into New Year's, which, I think that also falls on a Thursday, doesn't it?
We'll see what happens. I mean, let's see what we can do maybe for New Year's.
So we may not talk to you guys via podcast until 2022. Yeah. And I feel like we've said this for the past couple of years. It's got to be better than this year, right? It's got to turn a corner. But that being said, to fill everybody in on our legacy fantasy football draft, hardcore football, Biggie, you and I are in the playoffs.
Yeah, baby.
Mr. Brown is not in the playoffs. What happened, man?
I rode Ryan Tannehill.
That was good for a minute.
No, it was never good. It was never good.
It probably wasn't.
I always make the playoffs, and I'm mad because my quarterback. I put too many eggs in a basket.
Yeah,
and it didn't work out.
With Mahomes, a couple years ago.
Yeah. So
you're not in. Are you okay? Are you feeling okay?
Listen, I am more than okay. I won the fantasy baseball league. The Braves are world champs. I'm currently second place in our basketball league. You know what? I can't win every year. And if it means that someone else takes my place this year that's not normally a playoff person and it gauges their interest to stay in a league a year longer, I'm a team player, baby.
That was a little passive-aggressive, but that's okay. Yeah. I'll take it.
What? What?
You know what you said. So
I'm just helping others.
Biggie, do you feel confident that you will advance in the – you're in a bye week, aren't you?
No, he's watching it transpire.
Gotcha. So who
I finished second overall. I feel good about my team. I led our league in scoring. Having said that, I'm pretty sure that my first round matchup is going to be against Drew's team, who was third in scoring. So I do feel pretty good about my team. I'm not playing this week. I'm hoping everybody playing this week gets injured that doesn't play for my team because I want some damn money in my pocket at the end of the year.
And this week's a weird week with COVID, man. So I'm sitting there thinking, man, if I was in the playoffs this week, everyone's dropping with COVID.
Yeah,
well,
it's
don't
bad.
you have
I have no
on your
depth.
team?
My whole bench is like COVID.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to hang on to them.
How are you feeling going into your matchup? You guys projected like a half point apart.
Well, right now, because I got Butker, kicking for the Chefs on TV, I'm actually projected to win by 2 points right now.
You just got a field goal.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But
you are playing the defending champ, the heart of a champion.
That's all I want to do is take down the champ, and I'll feel good. So
please take down the champ.
So Ashley, I'm coming for you, buddy. You're going down.
Is it a man or woman? I don't know.
You don't know. You don't need to know. But his team name is Carol Baskin's Murder Cover Up. So he did dress up like Carol Baskins at our fantasy draft. So
no, but for those of you who haven't seen the new episode on Netflix,
have you watched it?
I have.
I have too.
It's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of gets you up to speed.
Right.
If I get one of those every couple years, I'd be all right.
That's fine.
But Biggie, you still have not watched the original Tiger King.
I've not dipped my toe into that pond yet.
I'm just done at that point.
How does someone not watch that in the pinnacle of COVID season?
He's too busy watching NCIS marathons.
He is.
Actually, I was watching Criminal Minds reruns.
Oh, even
Let's
better.
get it straight here.
Is that with Joe Montana?
Yeah.
Joe Montana was a quarterback.
He was a damn good
or
quarterback.
listening to Elvis on the Alexa on repeat.
Suspicious mind.
Exactly.
Why can't you see
In the ghetto.
Yeah, it's
in the
bad.
ghetto?
Yeah.
All right,
Anyways.
with that, we're singing Elvis, so it's time to sign off. If we don't see you, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and y'all enjoy yourselves. It's been a hell of a year. We made it through, and hopefully you made it through together with us. But this has been the We Don't Know Sports podcast, signing off possibly for the final time in 2021. If not, we'll see you later this year, but probably we'll see you in 2022. Bye-bye.